Hello everyone, welcome to the Ozark Outpost. This is going to be a solo game of Global War 1985. I'm not going to film every move, I'm only going to provide turn highlights, keep the videos short. I'm going to call this Operation Mars. And just briefly, I am playing Scenario 3, Global Thermonuclear War, all across the whole map. I'm also playing with the expansions and optional unit. Well, not all of them. I was going to, but I had to change. I am playing the two naval operations expansions that are done, naval aviation and anti-submarine warfare. I'm also playing battleships and battle cruisers. I was going to also do ground attack aircraft, but I didn't have enough flight stands to set that all up. That was one of the reasons I wanted to do this this global solo game, was to test my set and to see if I actually have enough stuff or if I have deficiencies. And as you can see from grounded aircraft here, flight stands is one thing that I did not have enough of. I came across some other things as well, but that stuff's being addressed. I'm also, for optional unit, I'm playing the SPAG units, self-propelled anti-aircraft guns, and I think that's it. Okay, so let's get down to it. What happened in turn 1 of Operation Mars? Let's see, Warsaw Pact was able to roll stage 1 for computers on the technology chart. Oh, I also forgot to mention random event for Libya. I rolled the Toyota War. So that's taking place here in Africa between Libya and Chad. And then for the Pacific Theater, I rolled Bamboo Curtain. So we have some action there in Southeast Asia. Okay, now we move on. Okay, as I said, Warsaw Pact rolled stage 1 for computers. To support the Toyota War, they sent military aid consisting of an attack chopper to West Libya. They were required, or Libya was required, to do a border attack on Chad the first turn, which resulted in killing 1 Chadian light infantry. Libya. Now, I can't remember for sure, but it doesn't say anything about recruitment roles in the random event itself. But since it's part of a random event, Libya is a controlled minor faction. And the base rules do say controlled minor factions get a recruitment role. So I went ahead and did it. If it's wrong, I'm sure someone will tell me. But anyway, the recruitment role failed. Libya didn't get anything. Then Warsaw Pact's income was 17, and they saved 1 IPP from their purchase to give them 18 available for next turn. Okay, NATO. NATO was 3 for 3 on tech. They put AMD up to stage 3, long-range missiles to stage 3, and advanced sonar to stage 3. So, well done, eggheads. For military aid, NATO decided to move a French SAM from southern France through the minor port there in Sudan and over to Chad. As you can see, it was a SAM that got moved over for allowing the use of their port for that. China is demanding 6 IPP of military aid from the NATO alliance in the future whenever it's needed. Okay, there wasn't any combat by NATO, no border attack by Chad. Chad's recruitment role also failed, and NATO's income is 8, which is what they've got in their bank for next turn. There wasn't any. I don't think they did any non-combat movement at all. That's why I didn't mention it. Same thing with Warsaw Pact. They didn't do any non-combat movement at all. Okay, Soviet Global. Let's see. On tech, they moved Caterpillar Drive to stage 3 and chemical warfare to stage 2. I think I'm doing this correctly since it's just the global roundels on the tech chart. I'm having Soviet Global roll all 4 tech dice, which includes the one from Far East Command, and US Global, I'm having them do the same thing. They're rolling all 4 tech dice, including the one for Pacific Command. So that was that. Let's see. In Nicaragua, the Americans had an insurgent placed there, and as you can see, the Soviet counterinsurgency attempt failed. So Nicaragua is now United States global possession, and that was with they failed on 4 dice. They had bought 2, and then they used one of their insurgents to provide 2 more. Same thing happened in Afghanistan. The Soviets failed to upset the American insurgency there, so that now also belongs to US Global. Same thing, 4 dice there. They all 4 failed, and believe it or not, on both of those counterinsurgency rolls, there was a 9 that came up for each one, but that just wasn't quite enough. Okay, there wasn't any combat, wasn't any non-combat. The Soviet global income's 37, plus one they saved gives them 38 for next turn. Okay, Far East Command. They don't do tech, as I said. They didn't have very much money, but they did provide military aid to North Vietnam, and they sent them a SAM to give them some air defense against the red hordes of the Chinese there in Guangxi in southern Yunnan. There wasn't any combat. There was one non-combat. A SAM there from Yakutsk moved over there to the coast, so now the Far East Command has a wall of SAMs there, well, almost completely, to try to deter American incursions into their territory. And that was it for them. They wound up with 10 in their bank, which is their base income. Okay, US Global also did fairly good on the tech chart. They moved AMD, long-range missiles, and advanced sonar all to stage 3, just like NATO. There's a Soviet insurgent in El Salvador. The U.S. bought 2 counterinsurgency dice, but failed. They weren't even close. So the People's Revolutionary Front has formed in El Salvador. As you can see there, they've got a paramilitary, a light infantry, and a SAM there to defend themselves. That PRF land zone forming did give U.S. Global a +2 escalation increase on their income. No combat, so with the military pact taking over Nicaragua and the formation of a PRF land zone, that took the United States up to 10, and then the 1 for Nicaragua is being tracked over there separately, so that gave them 11. Pacific Command. Pacific Command was successful in placing an insurgent in Cambodia per the Bamboo Curtain random event. They just barely did it. They bought 2 dice, they used their advisor, and the Chinese advisor gave them a 4th dice, and they got 1 roll of 10 to get it done. All right, since they spent $2 on insurgent dice, that only left them with 2, so they didn't buy anything. No combat. Their income was 4, plus the 2 they saved gives them 6 in the bank. And then China. China was able to roll successfully to get to stage 1 for computers and get that started. There's no combat, no non-combat. People's war markers. China starts out with a national morale of 2. So people's war markers are placed up there in northern and central Manchuria. And they did buy one thing to give them some air defense down here against the North Vietnamese. They bought a SPAG and put it there in Guangxi. So they collected their income of 2. And that's where we stand at the end of turn 1. Ozark Outpost. Over and out.